Standing here today on the Stones River Greenway in lovely Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and today we're going to look at what it takes to restore native plants in a landscape that has been overrun. And with me is Terry Hogan, who is part of the project, and she's going to tell us all about it. She works with the Stones River National Battlefield. And Terry, thank you so much for showing us what you're going to talk about today. This is an exciting project.
Oh, I'm pleased to be here.
Now tell me exactly what it is that you're trying to get rid of here.
Well, our main focus is Chinese yam, which appeared along the Stones River Greenway 3 to 4 years ago. Along the Stones River in general. Yeah.
That is in no time.
No time, and if you could see what we're surrounded by and what we've passed to get here, you would be surprised.
No kidding, it's covering up a whole lot of understory. I mean, it's just climbing all over everything. But that's not your only problem here.
Right. We also have a Chinese privet, which really dominates the greenway, especially in the wintertime. You can really see it really stands out because it's virtually evergreen.
That's a problem all over Tennessee.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Bush honeysuckle, which is another plant I'm looking at right now.
Right.
And garlic mustard, which is a recent introduction to Tennessee and has really bloomed here along the river in the last year, actually.
I think that's moved down from up north. It's been a problem up there for a while.
In the northeast.
Right, yes. And I know that it puts out a chemical in its roots that prevents other things from growing around it.
Right. It also kills the mycorrhizal association that plants depend on.
Terrific.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the overall problem of having all these invaders, I mean, if I don't know, I could say, well, they're green, they grow, what's the matter? It's just one plant replacing another.
Well, there are a couple problems with it. One is that our canopy does not replace itself.
The native trees can't reseed.
That's right. We see very few native seedlings, seedlings of the native trees here, or saplings of the native trees here, because they don't get enough light and they don't get enough nutrients to sprout. When the canopy dies, we have no replacement.
You're killing off all the next generations.
That's
basically.
right. Also, it crowds out other native species, so we're losing diversity. The Murfreesboro Greenway is basically a 5 species. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's being reduced to about 5 dominant species, and none of them are from this area.
And there's another interesting, because it's the Stones River National Battlefield, which is a site of enormous historical importance in our country. What we're looking at isn't at all what was here. When our forefathers, whichever side they were on, came here and met in battle, this landscape, the cedar glades looked the same, but this part completely
looks entirely different.
Yeah, this entire understory was a different thing, and it's worthwhile restoring, as a historical point of fact, what was there, in addition to just the ecological impact of having these plants just take over our landscapes. So tell me about the effort to do this. I know you got a bunch of volunteers here today.
Yes, well, this is actually the 3rd year of a 3-year project, and we're going to be looking for more grants after this. We started working on the Stones River Battlefield, and controlling Chinese yam. That was our target species. We've had a group of cooperators from the very beginning that it has included the Discovery Center, which is a hands-on science center for children here in Murfreesboro, the Center for Environmental Education, which is a very important part. Both the Discovery Center and the Environmental Education Center provide the education component, and people often just don't know. The other cooperators are the Natural Resources Conservation Service, who grew out the plants for us from seed collected along the Stones River. So it's local genotype seed.
That's so important. That's really good. Keeps it pure, keeps it real.
That's right. And we know these plants are adapted to this area.
Right.
And genetically, we don't want to swamp the gene pool with plants from other places that may not do as well.
Right.
The City of Murfreesboro is another partner. And I hope that I've mentioned them all.
It takes a lot of people. That's the main thing. I mean, obviously it's a huge joint effort. And then you've got people from all kinds of private citizens that come and dig holes in the dirt.
That's right.
That's great.
We're very fortunate to have a large group here today to help us out. They're putting in river oats today.
Great grass.
Yes, it's a beautiful grass, and it will occupy the space and help keep the invasives at bay.
Yeah, that's a terrific grass. And this is the setting it likes, shady, moist, Yeah, does great. I've seen it in the sun, but it likes a lot of water in the sun.
Now, also, the chances of survival in this drought, which we're having, are greater
Right.
for this plant because there
Right.
is some shade. We'll water them as soon as we plant them, and we'll check on them periodically.
Well, that's terrific. It's an admirable, admirable effort that you're making here. Really, it's going to transform this landscape back to what it should be.
We hope so.
So it really does matter what you put in your garden. You may think it's just a pretty plant, but these days we know now what our forefathers didn't know, which was that some of these plants can get out into our environment and create havoc. It's a bad thing. There's a great resource though, which is the Tennessee Exotic Plant Council. You can go to their website, look up, they've got a list of everything that's a bad guy, a bad actor that they already know gets out into our landscape and creates problems for us that we have to go back and get rid of. So go there, do a little homework before you do your landscaping and help out not just yourself and not just the aesthetics of our beautiful state, but everything that lives here needs what is naturally here, not what comes in and invades. Just takes a little bit of work and we can clean up the problem.